Hey everyone, Daniel and Alex here from IGN. You're watching the Superhero Show. Thank you for coming back. Now this week, you've got the topic.
Yeah, so it came out that the writer of X-Men Apocalypse, X-Men First Class, Simon Kinberg, has said that if they wanted to have some of the original characters from the old X-Men movies, they'd have to be recast. Now we're talking specifically about Storm, Jean and Cyclops, no more Halle Berry.
Okay, so
sad times.
So what are we talking about? Who we might cast in those roles?
Absolutely.
So if we're going to go back in Apocalypse, so let's think about the ages for this, because Apocalypse takes place in the 80s, which is 20 years before the first X-Men film, which is now 15 years ago. Halle Berry's around 50, so that would put Storm at around about 15.
Something like that.
Anyway,
I'm good at words.
I think we're going to fudge the numbers a little bit, because that's what Hollywood always do. You get 30-year-olds playing 17-year-olds, but we're going to go younger than Halle Berry, obviously.
Absolutely.
So first off is, I think we should start with Cyclops. I think we can all agree that Cyclops got pretty short shrift even in the existing X-Men movies. He gets killed midway through the second, at the end of the second one.
Yeah.
The beginning of the third one. Sorry, spoilers. And he was never the full leader of the X-Men that you wanted him to be, the strategic genius.
Absolutely.
The star of the X-Men in some ways.
Yeah.
I think this is the chance for him to have that again.
Now you've got an interesting suggestion. One particular one that I was not expecting.
I think you're quite against it. Okay, let's start with the one that I think is actually a really good choice. Okay. Is Logan Lerman.
Right.
Now you don't know much about Logan Lerman.
Not really,
He's
no.
a kind of young American actor. He was in Percy Jackson.
Yep.
Percy Jackson hasn't really taken off as a franchise, but you know, he's shown that he can do the kind of blockbuster thing where it's working with special effects.
Yeah.
But the reason I like him is, one, I think he looks the part, which is obviously part of the casting process. But there's a film called Perks of Being a Wallflower, and in that film, I don't think you would watch it and go, he'd be a great Cyclops.
Yeah.
But I think you watch it and go, he's a great actor.
He's got two eyes, right?
He's got two eyes, yeah.
Right,
and he is a great actor, and I think people often go, oh, that's not like for like casting. Yeah. But I think for above everything, what you look for in casting is a good actor.
Yeah.
You know, nobody would have thought Heath Ledger would have been a great Joker on paper.
Yeah.
But you looked at it and he was a great actor. And I think Logan Lerman has that kind of depth to him as a performer.
Okay. Now the other one, which is slightly more left field, I would say.
What do you mean? This is brilliant.
Well, you think that Harry Potter should be Cyclops?
I think Daniel Radcliffe. I'm basing this mainly on a picture I've seen of Daniel Radcliffe, where he looks a little bit like what I think Scott Summers should look like.
Wow.
This is why I'm not a Hollywood casting director.
So my problem with Daniel Radcliffe...
What's your problem with him?
He's very one-dimensional.
What do you mean?
Maybe it's just because all I ever see when I see him is Harry Potter. I don't think he's a particularly great actor. And I think he's grown. If I could just have my say, thank you very much.
No, you can't.
Is that one of the things that you loved about the other guy? Is great. I've still not yet to see that in Radcliffe.
I think in the later Harry Potter films he's pretty good, and then
he's got one acting face. Not actually, no. He's probably got two. Ron Weasley's only got one acting face.
Yeah, but unlike Logan Lerman, I know that Daniel Radcliffe can wear glasses on camera.
I should do it then. I should be Cyclops.
There you go. Well, what do you think? Have you got any suggestions?
Well,
so just critiquing mine.
So my suggestions actually pitched it a bit older, so it doesn't really matter.
Oh, okay.
So no, I don't, is the honest answer. Anyway, let's move on to Jean.
Okay.
Now you've got lots of suggestions here.
Yeah.
And I actually agree with a lot of these. I think Kristen Stewart, good choice.
Yeah. Why do you think she's a good choice, seeing as you rubbished all the other ones?
Just quite an attractive lady.
Brilliant.
Look, so you've got a few people on here who I don't really know. Okay. So Emma Watson, why her? You're just trying to reunite the Harry Potter cast.
Yeah.
Because for Storm,
I've got Rupert Grint. I've got Rupert Grint. Is that he can play an African princess? So do you want to go for my Jean choices?
Yeah.
So first choice is a British actress called Kaya Scodelario. Like, I don't think a lot of people know her.
So I hadn't heard of her, but I did look her up, and I thought she certainly looks the part.
She looks the part, and she's also in the British version of Skins. And in the British version of Skins, she kind of gets... I've not seen loads of Skins, but the ones I've seen her in, she's kind of caught in love triangles. Yep. She battles with depression. So if they want to explore those aspects of the Jean Grey character, I know that she's done that stuff on camera before.
Yeah.
So she has potential. I should also say at this point, for a lot of these, I probably would think Unknowns is actually a safer way to go.
I completely agree.
You know, we're having a bit of fun with it.
Because that's part of the problem as well, is that, you know, you can think of a lot of kind of up-and-coming actors and actresses, but they're either tied to kind of superhero movies already, or Star Wars, or it's hard to find somebody who hasn't really kind of dabbled in this kind of genre before.
Yeah. Who else do you want to know about?
Well, I thought Emma Stone was a good shout, but again, you've got the connection there already.
I don't think it really matters though that she's
Really?
in. No, she's Gwen Stacy. If Chris Evans can go from Human Torch to Captain America, she can definitely segue into being a superhero in another franchise. I think.
Sure.
I think she maybe is
Very
a bit
close together though.
Yeah,
I think is the.
She can be if you watch what's the film she was in that's an adaptation of the Scarlet Letter, like the Big A. She's quite a steely, sassy character in that. But Jean's not quite sassy, but you need a kind of steel to her, like a quiet steel, a quiet resolve.
Yeah.
Saoirse Ronan. She was in Hannah.
Okay.
You've seen the girl in Hannah?
No.
I think she's on looks wise. I don't know. You can make her look more like Jean. She's maybe a bit too kind of ethereal and delicate, but she's done a lot of cool kind of action-based films.
Right.
Like Hannah, I think she'd meet the part. And yeah.
And then finally, we've got Storm.
Yeah.
Obviously played by Halle Berry in the last set of films. Now, this was a tough one to come up with somebody who is of the right age that could fit that profile. And obviously, you've got one suggestion for that.
Yeah, I've got one suggestion that I thought would be a really good choice, but I think she is a little bit too old if they're going to be casting it that young, which was Naomi Harris, the British actress who plays Moneypenny in Skyfall.
Yeah.
I think she'd be an interesting choice.
She's a lot older than you think, though.
Yeah. Same with Zoe Saldana.
Yeah.
But she's one of the hottest actresses in the world right now. It's Lupita Nyong'o, who is currently filming Star Wars, the new Star Wars films. But I know her, and imagine a lot of you'd know her from, is 12 Years a Slave.
Yeah.
Now, the whole thing about Rora Monroe is she is an African princess, she's an African queen, and Lupita Nyong'o's parents from Kenya.
Yeah.
She's more steeped in that heritage if they wanted to play more of an origin story.
I just think she's
also
a fantastic actress.
Yeah, and there's some amazing photoshops of her as Halle Berry.
So people are doing it already?
Yeah.
Right.
So I think there's already petitions online for Nyong'o and Lupita to be Storm.
Yeah. But I think they're all good suggestions, but do you think that those characters should actually come back is the first question.
I think you want... The end of Days of Future Past is a really nice ending where they kind of fuse two universes together.
Yeah.
And it's a really... I think it works as a scene because it's in the last 5 minutes of the film and you're ready to leave and you're like, that's a nice feeling to leave the cinema with.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to try to do it across a big film, it might get quite messy. Some of the inconsistencies might begin to unravel and cause more problems. Whereas when it's in the last 5 minutes of the film, you're very forgiving. You go, oh, that's pretty nice touch.
Move on. Yeah.
Yeah, so those were my suggestions for the recasting of the future X-Men. If you have any suggestions, let us know at IGN_UK feedback@ign.com. But that's it until next week, so take care of yourself.